Yo, what's up y'all? Back again for a quick video today, and in this one we're going to be upgrading one of these Tech Deck bikes here. And I have a short video on these, kind of in my shorts somewhere. It's on YouTube and on TikTok as well. But I talk about how I found a bunch of them. The ones I found didn't have pegs, and there's like a bunch of comments on there, people saying like, you know, they make them with pegs, and like, I know they do. But the ones that I found didn't have them, and I haven't been able to find any since that have pegs. But I do have this one, and I do have a bunch of things from my old BXS collection. And BXS was a line that was around. Actually, let me check. Let me get facts here. All right, so back around like 99, 2000, a company called Jack's Pacific, which they're still around today. They make a lot of like toys and things like that. But they did a series called Road Champs BXS, and these were basically really popular BMX bikes at the time, but scaled down, and they were really high quality. There were a couple other brands around at the time that also made miniature bikes, but these ones were like a step ahead. You know, they were pretty much all die-cast, and they were painted. They were really, really cool. I was really into BMX, so I have a pretty big collection of them still. I'm really glad I still have them because they're super, super nostalgic. But anyways, that leads me to a point. I have a bunch of spare parts. So one thing I noticed is kind of the frame dimensions are fairly similar. So I think if we take like one front axle and one back axle, or maybe even two front axles, we can put them on this bike and then you know, use it with pegs. With actual pegs, we can like screw in and screw off and put bolts on it or kind of change it up or whatever. So I actually went ahead and took one of the wheels off already because I wasn't sure if the way I was thinking was going to work, and it actually did work. So what I did is I grabbed these pliers here, and these bikes have like one side that's like crimped, or it's not crimped. It's like I don't know what to call it. It's kind of a rivet, and then the other side's kind of just solid. So what I did is I took this kind of riveted side over here and just crushed it one way and crushed it to the other way. And then I was able to slip it through after doing that. So we'll try it again and see if it works, see if I can do that on camera. So crush it one way, and then kind of spin the wheel, or get it to where you can crush it the other way. And there we go. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but it went from being kind of all crimped out, now it's just really tiny. We should be able to grab this other side, and yeah, there we go. It slipped right through. So now we got the back separated, we got the wheels off, and we got the frame. So you can't take the chain off because of the way it's kind of fixed in there. Okay, I got two front axles here. Sorry, I'm not sure how well you guys can really see those, but I'm gonna try and find some pegs, because the cool thing is you can kind of screw these in and off, screw these on and off. So there's more like customization. I wish they would make these again, or like I wish someone would make these again. These are really nice quality bikes. I just wish they were a little bit bigger. They're kind of like hard, in my opinion, to bar spin on. So anyways, let's go ahead and see if we can put this back together. And we're gonna do the bolt on the crank side to make grinding. Ooh, okay, so that's one issue. These holes are not big enough to accommodate these, but one thing I do have is a Dremel with some small bits, so let me grab that and we'll drill it out. And yeah, so anyways, we'll see if this works. We just need to do the wheels. The plastic's a lot easier than the metal anyway, and the fork, but the fork's plastic as well. So let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, there we go. I guess that did work. Okay, so now we can finally put it together. At least the back portion. We still gotta get the front portion together. Wasn't anticipating the wheel being the hardest part. This is gonna be really cool though, I must say. I don't want to tighten it too much, but I do want it to be snug. For some reason, now the wheel doesn't want to sit totally center in the frame. I don't know why that is. I mean, unless the holes are crooked, but that really can't be. We just made them wider, we didn't drill new ones. Does feel a little more solid now. I'm not sure if it's like totally like, I don't know, something's not centered about this frame or about the holes or about something, but it definitely feels more solid. It works for like, you know, obviously like simple clips and runs and all that. So it does look really cool too. It looks like nicely upgraded, a lot cooler than it did. And these pegs are a lot more higher quality than the ones you find on the Tech Deck bikes. I think the ones on the Tech Deck bikes are plastic. And these are like real metal and everything like that. So of course I wasn't recording, but that whole back wheel thing was driving me really crazy, and I fixed it. I don't know if you can see that. My other camera died, but I'll show you a close-up, in the final thing or whatever. So stoked I fixed that. The way I fixed it was, these old BXS bikes came with these spacers inside the wheels. You'd like put them in there, and then that would make the axle like fit perfect. Not sure why they did that, what they did. So anyways, I took a piece of one and cut like a tiny slice off of it, and then I put that where I sanded off some of the back wheel, because I forgot I did that, and by doing that I took off some of that surface area and pushed the wheel to one side. So by adding another piece of plastic there and kind of putting that surface matter back, I created that space again. Now the wheel is centered, and when you turn the pedals, the wheel spins. So now it's a little bit more set up for shredding, and it feels a little smoother too. So now I'm really stoked on this thing. I think it looks great, feels great, and it actually functions. And also, it's kind of cool. I saw Shin's FB do this, but I put foam tape. You probably can't tell all the way from there. I put foam tape on the seat, so it looks kind of textured now. It looks really cool. Stoked how that looks. So without further ado, let's get some clips. Anyway, so it's been a couple days. I've been testing this thing kind of a lot, and I gotta say, it is super fun. These upgrades made a nice difference. These pegs are really like super solid. It's cool that they're all metal. The foam tape on the seat is kind of a nice touch. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but it just kind of feels cool. And then I also bar wrapped the handlebars, so that's kind of a cool little touch as well. So it's not the most solid bike in the world. The more I use it, the more this gets loose right here. The handlebars are really close to like coming off themselves, and I have to like super glue them or figure out a way to kind of secure them to the fork a little bit better. I guess we'll see kind of as time goes on, but so far it's worked pretty well. I got that really cool edit out of it. I've been playing with it kind of a lot, trying to get quicker at doing like bar spins and stuff, which you can kind of see, kind of getting a little better at it. So bar spins are super fun, even though the trick library or whatever on like a bike is like a little more limited than like a skateboard, like a finger skateboard. Obviously you can do a lot more tricks on a finger skateboard than you can a finger bike, but I gotta say, finger bikes are definitely challenging like in their own way. I think it's challenging in an aspect kind of to do tricks, but then it can also be challenging to make your tricks literally flowy and realistic and like make it look good. It's kind of like half the battle really. With fingerboarding, as long as you kind of land the trick with, some half decent finesse or style, like it'll look good. With this thing, like you're not landing, it's all controlled with your hands. So making it look smooth kind of takes a lot more effort. So I gotta say, like they're kind of, I think they are like a little bit laughed at, but they are fun in their own way. I've had a lot of fun with this one. The clips I got, I'm super stoked with, and overall it's just a really fun little bike to play with. And the pegs make a big difference. These metal ones too just feel good on every surface. They're fun to grind with. They feel good on bricks, metal, wood, really anything you want to take it to. The pegs feel really cool. So I know these upgrades are probably going to be hard to do for most people. Not everyone's going to have like a supply of those 20-year-old Jack-specific spare parts, but if you happen to have those and you're wondering, should I upgrade a Tech Deck bike with those parts? It's definitely doable if you got the right tools. You need some smaller drill bits, and that's really about it, just the drill bits and the Dremel. But if you got that, then I say go for it. It's pretty fun. The cool thing about this is it's all kind of reversible. Obviously, I can't put the rivets back into the Tech Deck bike, but if I want to take off these pegs and put them back in my collection or whatever, it's totally doable because these things are very customizable, which is what I like the most about those old Jack-specific bikes. And in closing, I will say I really do like the Jack-specific bikes more. The fact that they're all die-cast, they have a die-cast fork, die-cast handlebars, and a die-cast frame. The only thing plastic on here, the chain ring, the crank is actually metal. The pedals are plastic, the pegs are metal. But yeah, for the most part, these things are really metal and they're really solid. This thing is like 20 years old probably or something like that now, and it feels just as good as it did back in the day. The only thing is the Tech Deck ones have a little better of geometry on them, I will say. At least for my hands in specific. I can do tricks a little more easier on this one because the bars are a little bit smaller and the seat is a little more pushed back. At least that's how it feels. The Jack specific bikes feel a little bit shorter, so when I have my hands on here, like, let's see, I don't know, for some reason it just feels harder to get certain tricks, but they do look a lot cooler, arguably. So I wish we could get one with like the Tech Deck bike geometry with the quality of the Jack specific ones, because then that would be the ultimate finger bike. Honestly, that would be like really, really sick. But not sure if that's gonna happen. So in the meantime, you know, these do work. They are pretty sick. I'm stoked with how good I'm getting at the bar spins, honestly, when I can kind of get them down. But yeah, it's super fun, really fun little upgrade. I'm glad I did it. I'm probably gonna mess around with this thing a lot more from now on. And I want to find more of these things. They're just hard to find in my area for some reason. They're like always sold out. You can never find them at any of the stores. But yeah, that kind of about sums it up. If you have any questions on these Jack specific bikes, drop them below in the comments. I'd love to answer them. I could probably answer most of your questions. I have a pretty decent collection of them. These were awesome. These were really cool. This is like mid-school BMX, like at its absolute finest, boiled down into toy form. This is a Haro Blammo here. I'm not sure you guys probably can't tell, but anyway, if you got any questions, drop them below in the comments. I'll definitely answer them for you. See you in the next video. If you need any concrete obstacles, bushings, small items, cases, anything like that, hit up anxietyoffline.com. I got a bunch of awesome stuff in stock right now, and I'd love to get you laced up. So that's about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.